Hey fellas, how are you keeping? I'm experimenting with a new tablet today, so I know that the colour of this wall here is not quite right as I'm seeing it in the video screen there. So we'll see how that comes out in the end video. I may have to muck about with that, but down to the shave today, I have got a Whittle or Whityle, W-H-I-T-Y-L-E razor from China. I bought this on AliExpress and it was £1.56 or thereabouts. It has a hinged lid that clips into place and is held into place here, which is nice and easy. It reminds me very much of the Futur style of razor in the way that the blade fits in and the lid clips into place. And I'm going to put into that my Willy's blade that is now on its 10th shave. So we will pop that in. It sits in very well. Pop the cap down and there we go. And this razor has what they call an auxiliary rolling bar or a supporting roller bar. And I'll talk about that more as we go along. It is adjustable. I find it quite a challenge to see the numbers even with my glasses on, but for the price I paid we certainly won't complain about that. I'm going to use a very nice autumn soap today. I went hunting through my samples and I have a lovely sample of Autumn Glory from Sterling Soap Company. Very, very nice soap indeed. I'm going to be using a vintage brush today. I have my rubber set 203. I have my brush already lathered. This is a boar bristle knot. So I started to lather up my soap in the bowl and I paused halfway through to play around with the video settings. And I found that some of the soap I had in the bowl disappeared. It seemed to disappear into the knot. And I've come to the conclusion that that is just something that happens with boar bristle knots. However, if you've never used a boar bristle knot, what you do get when they are broken in is an incredibly soft knot. They are very stiff when dry. But when you soak them for 5 minutes before you use them, they do become fantastically soft indeed. And I can actually add a drop more water to this. I can see now that I'm getting it on my face. Just a drop to smooth it out there. So here we go, the Whityle adjustable razor is a chunky razor. I've got it set to setting 3. And it seems to work really very well on setting 3. It is a zinc alloy razor. weighs in at 106 grams. Now, on the Whityle website, they don't give information about blade gap or exposure. But it seems to me to be a fairly aggressive razor, even on setting 3. The reason for that is that I think it has a large blade gap. Well, it has got a large blade gap, I can see it here. So, that is something to consider. It is a very nice size in the hand, and I've noticed it comes in 4 different colours: gold, black, and there were 2 other colours that I meant to write down and completely forgot to do so. But certainly an interesting razor. I'm going to keep that on setting 3 while I'm going with the grain. I had a little practice with this razor the other day, and I have to say, for the price I got it at, well, it is very, very good indeed. And it may well be worth you looking around. Because my deal was just the razor, and I've seen other deals where you get a stand to fit it, a little more expensive. And I suppose it depends which country you live in. But yeah, very interesting. I've found that a roller bar, you can maybe hear it there, is not as noisy when you have wet skin as I first imagined. And when you have a good thick lather, any sound from that bar rolling in place is completely deadened. Now there we go, as always happens with a boar bristle. You leave it in between passes, and there somehow ends up being less shaving soap in your brush. Now I've got plenty in my bowl here, so I'm going to take some of this and just get that onto my face. I'm noticing as I'm putting on this shaving soap that the camera screen that I'm looking at is whiting out slightly, so perhaps this isn't a great camera on this new tablet that I'm trying today. As I say, we'll have to see what it's like, and I'll have to watch it back and compare it to the old one, but determined to try out different things and see if I can get a slightly better video quality. But that is something for me to work on. There we are, I've got a nice lather, it's nice and wet, not too thick. I'm going to turn this down to setting 2, so you hold the head and rotate the handle, or hold the handle and rotate the head. But that, whether you can see it or not, is now on setting 2, and I'm going to go against the grain on this setting. Now about the razor blade, I have got 10 shaves out of this razor blade, and on setting 2 on this razor, it is still very comfortable going, and I'm going against the grain now, so there we go, it is comfortable still. I am noticing now that perhaps, and it is a little difficult to tell, but perhaps the blade is losing just a little bit of its effectiveness, and maybe not quite taking off as much hair as it first did when I used it, or as it did when I first used it, I should more correctly say. But nevertheless, it's still doing very well indeed. I suppose you could go from a 2-pass shave up to a 3-pass shave, or, and I used it in the week with a razor that has a slightly positive blade exposure, and that worked very well indeed. So I think we will leave it at this with this Willy's blade. Got 10 shaves out of it. I feel, yeah, definitely. I feel I could go on using it without any issues of it being uncomfortable or tugging, but I just feel it's becoming less and less effective. And I can feel now I've not got quite as close a shave as I would like, but still not a bad shave by any means. Now I'm finding with this Whittle razor that the blade is set quite a long way back from the safety bar and roller, so to get up under there, I'm really having to roll back on the head. So there we are, guys, that is the razor. It's a little difficult to get the blade out, fellas. Look, there's no lip here. You can just catch it if you press and get it in there, but there we are, just something to be aware of. Yeah, for the price, a very good razor, slightly different design with the rolling bar, but a nice shave. If you like the Mercure Futur or razors of that style, I think you'll like this one. Yeah, that is definitely the last shave for that little Willy's razor blade. It's done quite well. It's done very well indeed, in fact, but there we go. Now I'm going to use today, I'm going to use some Old Spice, and I should just mention about the soap from Sterling, always a good brand. They produce very nicely priced soap, and just to give you an idea of that, you get 118 millilitres or 5.8 ounces of soap, and Agent Shave, which was the cheapest price I could find in the UK. It was £17.49. From Sterling themselves in the US, it is $14.96. Now, I've read on the Agent Shave website that it is a dupe of Creed's Silver Mountain Water, but I don't think that's correct. I think it is Sterling's Mountain Man that is the dupe of Silver Mountain Water, so not Autumn Glory, but I couldn't find that information anywhere else. Perhaps you will let me know if I'm correct or incorrect, and so that anybody watching thinking about buying this soap will know exactly. But it is a lovely smelling soap. It has fresh citrus with subtle florals and a slightly sweet, spicy undertone, which is why I've chosen Old Spice as my aftershave lotion for today. That's it from me, fellas. You take good care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. I'll see you soon. All the best now. Bye bye.